Hey guys, what's up? This is LGS here, and today I'm back after a long time, long hiatus, long break, with a deck profile. This time it's the amazing, holy Angel Feather. So from GBT04, Angel Feather got support, and boy is the support good, really good. So yeah, so for those of you who don't know, Angel Feather, the clan specializes in damage zone. So they use the damage zone as a toolbox. They use the damage zone as all kinds of stuff they can do with damage zone, all kinds of shenanigans. But yeah, so now with the support of GPT-04, Angel Feathers has become really good because now they have really good offensive power and very good, wonderful, awesome defensive power as well because of her and another card which I'll explain later. So yeah, so Angel Feather damage zone control, and if you guys have been following the World WGP 2015, you would have noticed that Angel Feather has managed to go into top 8. It even won champion in one of the countries. I can't remember which country it was, but yeah, it won first place. So yeah, it's pretty good. So let's go to the deck profile. So first, let's talk about starter. So starter, this is my friend's deck. Yeah, so it's not my deck because I don't play Angel Feathers. But yeah, anyways, his starter is Black Candle Azrael. So the skill is GPT-01. Card plus 1, put in the soul. Put a card from your... put in the soul. Put the top card of your deck into the damage zone, and you choose a face-up card in the damage zone, put into your hand. So this card is it's quite useful to sort of, for example, if your damage, for a lot of clans, the damage zone is a weakness because once you lose a perfect guard to the damage zone, their perfect guard is probably gone. Or if you lose triggers to the damage zone, it's probably gone forever. Whereas Angel Feathers, they can take it back. So her skill is to help you take something from damage zone. First of all, you need a perfect guard. I'll take a perfect guard from damage zone. Or I need a grade 2. I'll take a grade 2 from damage zone. Oh, I need attacker, and things like that. So it's a very good utility card. And it also helps you pump things up because she puts cards in the damage zone. So yeah, next, let's go to the grade 3s. He runs 4 of the new Gavrail. I don't know why it's called Gavrail. In Japanese, it's Gavrail, which is perfectly fine. But yeah, so she is your strike breaker for the Angel Feather. So her strike break skill is when you strike on her, counter plus 1, look at the top 3 cards of your deck, choose one card, put it face up in a damage zone, the rest at the bottom of your deck in any order, and you choose a face up card in the damage zone and superior call it. So basically she's a plus 1, and if you have anything you want to call from the damage zone, just call it out for free, and it gains 2k. And now her GB2 skill, now this is the killer skill, GB2 skill. Whenever a card is placed in the damage zone, your whole front row gains 2k. So she gets a skill of your whole front row gains 2k, and the thing is it stacks. So every damage you take, she gains 2k, front row gains 2k. And this is very useful because even in your opponent's turn, when your opponent damages you, she gains power. So this is why Angel Feathers now can be super defensive. And when you combine it with another card later to explain, your front row is essentially impenetrable. Amazing! Yeah. So she is your first right. Second card my friend runs is the Celestial Malkidel. So this is the Legion, the promo card. So this is more of the late game pusher because her skill is when she's in Legion, your whole front row gains 2k when it gains 2k. And if you have a face up card that is her or the mate, the front row gains additional 2k. So your whole front row gains 4k passively. And her second skill is basically when she attacks with another unit in the same column, she gains 3k. So if before you Legion, if you have 7k booster behind her, she's essentially 21k column. But with Legion, it's a different matter, yeah. So yeah, so she's mostly for late game. Basically the push for, in case once you run out of all your strike and all that stuff, she can push for power because whole front row gains 4k. So next, grade 2, we run Dosage Celestial as model. So she's the mate of her, and her skill is very good for early game rush because she's a very pressure card. So her skill is when she attacks and hits a Vanguard, counter plus 1, put her face up in the damage zone, and put a face up card from damage zone, not name her, let's say for example her, and call it out. So for example, this is probably your fields like this, and your damage zone like this. Like that. So if she attacks, hit, counter plus 1, put her face up, and call something face up there. So you have another additional attack. And if you use her skill late game, for example with her Legion skill, like this, attack, hits, counter plus 1, put her face up in the damage zone, call her, she also will gain 4k. Yeah. Also, same as her skill, her GB2 skill. If you use the GB2 skill, since the skill is a Vanguard skill, the superior called one will also gain the power buff. So yeah, so that's the grade 2 and grade 3. Let me just rearrange this. There we go. So that's Asmodel. Next for grade 2, we run another MVP of this deck, Heartbroken Angel. Nurse of Broken Heart, my bad. So her skill is basically when you take damage, she and your Vanguard gains 2k. So imagine if you combine these two together, when her GP2 skill is live, every damage you take, she gains 2, they both gain 4k. Yes, that's a lot of defense. And imagine if you have 2 in the front row, like that. And you take, every damage you take, 2k, no, 4k, 4k, and 6k. Just like that. A free trigger, essentially. A free trigger power. Now that is why Angel's Feather is super defensive right now. Like, every damage you take, the whole thing just gains power. And the opponent can't hit, like, oh, what? I can't hit you anymore. And for now, she's 11k, no, 13 with her skill. Nothing can hit. Impenetrable defense. So yeah, as you can see, it can stack up quite a lot. And especially against, Aqua Force. Haha, Aqua Force, they can't do anything. Because, Aqua Force, basically their columns are weak and they do multiple attacks. So imagine if you let the first attack hit, your whole front row just gains defensive power. Nothing else can hit, essentially. So yeah, so this got your 10k, got your 5k, easy peasy. Next, he runs 2 of this Amber clone, Black Slice Harut. So her skill is, she's basically the Amber clone for Angel Feather. Her skill is, when she attacks the Vanguard and she's boosted, come +1, if you do, search your top 2 cards of your deck, put 1 card in your damage zone, put the other one bottom of the deck, choose a face card in the damage zone, superior call it. So she is, well, my friend only runs 2 because you rarely use her skill, because most of your skills like this, you probably most of the time superior call with her skill, and you don't really superior call with her much unless it's super early game, because by late game your field should be really full and she's essentially a dead card. So yeah, so she's basically a superior caller from your damage zone. And she also helps you enable her power gain and her power gain because you put a dead card in the damage zone. And next, lastly, he runs 1 Unicorn. Now this is a very interesting card. So his skill is, when he is placed on rearguard circle, when you call him, you can counter +1 and you can heal a face up card. Yes, you can heal. But the downside is that if he leaves the rearguard circle, you can look at the top 2 cards of the deck and put the damage into your damage, put a card in the damage zone and put the other one in your bottom of the deck. So basically when she dies, you take damage. So the thing is, he has resist, so he cannot be chosen to be retired. But let's say you face against Narukami or Kagero that do mass retirement, then he dies and you take damage. So your opponent can essentially win you by retiring it if you have 5 damage. So it's a sort of a double-edged sword, but it's a really useful card because you can heal for free, almost for free, counter +1. Next, for grade 1, he runs 4 Perfect Guards. You don't need to run GPGs because you do not need to unflip damage, because this deck, basically every card, okay, a lot of cards, essentially unflip damage for you for free, which I'll explain later. So it's always useful to have PGs, because the normal PGs, because you can use them to PG your rear guards. Whereas GPGs, you can only PG your Perfect Guard, sorry, your Vanguard. So sometimes you want to PG your rear guards because, for example, she's very important for defensive skill. So yeah, you want to PG your things. And next, he runs 4 of the Stride Fodder, basically your standard G decks. So basically, when you discard her for striding, she's basically a grade 3. And if you call her, you can reveal a grade 3 from your hand and search your deck for her. So basically, it's useful early game if you want to get her, because you want to ride her first. Yeah. Next, he runs 3 Pegasus. So her skill is, whenever you have a card enters the damage zone, she gains 2k. So she is useful as a first turn ride as defense, because if you ride her first turn and she takes damage, she's a 9k defense already, or more. And your opponent can't really rush you on turn 1 because she can be defensive. Or you can also use her as a power booster late game. So there are many shenanigans you can do to make your columns like 50, 60k columns, which I can explain later. But yeah, it is possible to make 50, 60k columns with her skill, and her skill, and maybe her skill as well. Next, my friend runs 3 Nostiel. So this is a very useful card. Basically, when you use her to guard, you can choose a card from your hand, put in the damage zone face up, and choose a card from your damage zone and put in your hand. So the thing is about her skill is that you can choose even face down cards. Hence, she is also a pseudo unflipper. And let's say you know you have a perfect guard in damage zone face down, you can just take it in your hand. Ta-da! I have a perfect guard now. Yay! So it's very, very, very useful. So he runs 3. Next, for triggers, he runs 4 of this critical trigger, critical hit angel. So she's your Margal clone. Put her in the soul, give something 3k. But mainly he doesn't use it for that skill, but it's just for a crit. Next, this is another MVP of this deck. The stand trigger, Doctoroid Refrose. So his skill is basically rearguard skill, counter blast 1. Put this unit on top of the deck. Choose 2 cards from your damage zone, put it into your deck, shuffle your deck, put the top 2 cards from your deck into damage zone, and draw a card. Basically what he does is also an unflipper because you can put back face down cards. That's one. Second usefulness of this skill is you get to put 2 cards in the damage zone, which helps power up this guy, this guy, this guy, and yeah. So basically you power up your units again. Imagine if you combine these two, that's already 2, 4, 6, 2, 4, 6. So yeah, it's a lot of power. Okay, basics a lot of power. Okay, a lot of power. Yeah. So imagine and then also you can filter him out, filter your deck clean the deck, and put triggers back in the deck. So yeah, so he is a wash. So basically, it's a free cost basically for power up. This is such a good card. Such a good card. Huh? I told already. Yes. Unflip damage. Yes. So it's a pseudo unflipper as well because you can put face down card in the deck. Next, he runs another 2, Happy Bell No Sale. So basically, this card can potentially help you in your great start situations. So the skill is put her in your soul, put 1 card from your hand into damage zone, and choose a face up card and put in your hand. So no, choose a card, it can be face down as well. So she can also be an unflipper, but it's a -1. So imagine, let's say you don't have a grade 3, but you see the damage zone, oh, it's a grade 3. You put her in the soul, swap your card with another grade 3 in your hand, hence no more grade stuck. Ta-da! And next he runs another 2 crit, which has no skill, so it's just like that. So 6 crit, 6 stands. And finally 4 heal, which is this specific heal. Tosani Smart Angel. So her skill is basically when she boosts, she's a 6k booster. At the end of the battle, end of turn. So end of turn. So you put her back in the deck, shuffle the deck. So basically you return your heal triggers into the deck. So Angel Fighters now can heal a lot. Next, let's go for the G zone. So he runs 2, Gavrail. Her skill is when attack hits the Vanguard. You can look at the top 3 cards of your deck, put 1 in your damage zone face up, the rest put in the deck and shuffle your deck. Then look for a face up card that's grade 2 or less, call it to rearguard circle, and it gains 2k. So she can give you a free plus or allow you to have a multiple attacks late game if it hits. So yeah, good early and mid-late game pressure unit. Next, he runs 4 of this Holy Seraph Raphael. Her skill is basically heal. So she must be your second or later strike. So strike her. Use her skill to flip, persona flip, heal 1 damage. So you can basically, if you run 4, you can basically have 2 free heals. So now you have 1, 2, 3 free heals with Unicorn. So yeah, 3 free heals for Angel Fighters. Amazing. And lastly, he runs 2 of this Holy Seraph Raziel. So he is also a very, very, very useful finisher. Imagine you have 2 of her in your front row, 3 Pegasus in your back row. His skill is basically, so when you stride, so plus 2, return all your damage into your deck, and then shuffle your deck and put back that many cards you put back in the deck face up into the damage zone. For example, if you have 4 damage go back, 4 damage come back here face up. Or if you have 5 damage go back, 5 damage come back up for here again. So basically he's number 1 unflipper because he returns all your cards back, flip or unflip, and he returns cards back in damage zone face up. Number 2, he's also a booster because every card you put back in the damage zone, they all power up. So if you have 5 damage and use his skill, that's 10k, 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 20k to the Vanguard because of both his skills. So yeah, crazy power push. And imagine you play with Doctor again, keep using Doctor skill over and over again, you get even more power up boost. So yeah, insane. So yeah, so this is my friend's Angel Feather deck. As you can see from some of the key cards like this and this, it is super defensive. And you can see some cards like this, Doctor, and other stuff, you can make it a very powerful offensive push as well. So this deck itself, they gain a lot of pluses because help you get free calls. She also help you get free calls, and she can also help you get free calls. So essentially, you don't really need to call from your hand most of the time. So your hand size is basically pretty much secured. And with these 3 card combinations, you are settled in your defensive position as well. Because the moment her GB2 is live, you are super tank mode. Opponent can't really hit you because you keep getting, stuff. Also, another trick you can tell you is that if they attack your rear guard first and you have a guard with no sail, you get a free damage in the damage zone, and they all gain a free boost. And like your opponent's like, what? Oh yeah. Oh no. So yeah, this is a pretty good deck. Although it's not very easy to play because you need to really pay attention to your damage zone, because you need to know which card to flip for counterblast and which card to lead face up, because a lot of their card skill require you to take or call face up cards. Only some cards can allow you to take a face down card, like for example no sail and your stand trigger, this guy. But other than that, the tip is to always counterblast cards you want to put back into your deck or put in your hand, and leave cards that are face up, your grade 2s, attackers, or units you want to call, because calling mostly is calling face up. So yeah, for example, Doctor, if you want to call him out, leave him face up. Or any grade 2s, leave them face up because you want to call them as well. Also, do take note that you leave her face up or her face up for their skill to work, their Legion skill to work. So yeah, this has been my friend's Angel FeatherDeck profile. I hope you like it. If you do, thumbs up. And if you like my content, do subscribe. This has been LJS, and I'll see you guys next time.